I had a fake Pokemon Ruby when I was a kid for my birthday. The game would only go to the part where I talk to May on the cliff, and the game just glitches and eventually black screens. I have heard that a lot of fake, reproduction cartridges do things like this. I don't have many reproduction cartridges. I could probably go through all the ones that I have. I actually don't know if this is a reproduction. It was sold to me as a reproduction, but I don't actually know if it is. The seller also didn't know if it was a reproduction or not, but we both just assumed it probably was. It's Pokemon Platinum for the DS. Now the case itself, although very stiff, looks somewhat real, but then, and it's a US copy. The cartridge looked like that. That on the front, that on the back. Yeah, I don't know if it's a real one or not. It was like $10, so I don't really care. So there's that. And then, this is a funny one. Stuart Little 2 for the Game Boy Advance. I am pretty sure this is a reproduction cartridge. I bought it because I thought it was funny. And it does work, surprisingly enough. Sorry, I was playing Legend of Starfy 2. Let's have a look at Stuart Little 2. Okay, the cartridge doesn't work all the time. Hold on. About Activision, which is kind of insane. And funnily enough, this doesn't have a, save file battery system, but it has a password system. Which is really weird. For a game that came out at least in the 21st century. Next I have one of these, big combination cartridges that come with a bunch of games. It says 60 games in one. Comes with Pokemon Blue, Red, Green, which doesn't have an English release, a Team NT game, some other game, Dr. Mario, and a few others. Let's have a look at this one. I haven't played this in a very long time. I don't even know if it will work. It's picked up that it's a Game Boy game. Yeah, so this says it's for specifically the Game Boy Color. I don't know if you can tell, but the Super is in rainbow colors, but the actual game itself is just a bunch of original Game Boy games, and it says there's 60, but it's actually just 10, and then it repeats with Pokemon Blue, and then Pokemon Red, Green, Pokemon Blue 1, and Dr. Mario, and I have an official copy of Dr. Mario as well, but this was the first way I ever played Dr. Mario, and it works. It actually looks not that bad, all things considered. You can't really see it. Did they make a Game Boy Color version of Dr. Mario? I don't know. Or is it Game Boy Color Enhanced? It's kind of interesting. I'm not going to go through all of these in detail. I have Pokemon Green, because there is no English Pokemon Green, so I got a reproduction one, a reproduction box, obviously. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Pokemon Ruby, which I've talked about, and the commenter also talked about. I put it in this case. That's the game. But then I also have Mother 1 Plus 2, which is a English translated version of the first two Mother/Earthbound games. I haven't played it yet, and obviously it's a reproduction because this didn't release in anywhere but Japan. I mean, the game separately sort of did. Mother 1 was Earthbound Beginnings on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch, I think. And then Mother 2 is Earthbound, which didn't actually get a European release, I don't think. So, we got none. But, yeah, they're my reproduction games. I haven't really dug much into them. I do like the idea of reproduction games, but only really when you know you're buying a reproduction game and there's a very solid reason as to why. So, if you wanted to buy Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis or whatever, that's just kind of funny. You're not thinking it's a real game. Or if you're buying an English translated version of a Japanese only game, then I get that. Or if you want Grimace's Birthday but a physical copy, because that was a Game Boy Color game that released earlier, I think in June this year, but it was only emulated on a website, but then people put it onto a cartridge so you can buy a physical copy of Grimace's Birthday. all up to you. Or even, there's one I've been looking at, Diddy Kong Pilot, which is a cancelled Game Boy Advance game, but there are a lot of, not demos, betas of the game that leaked, because there's two versions, I think one of them leaked, and you can buy reproduction Game Boy Advance cartridges so you can play Diddy Kong Pilot if you really want to. Or you could just play Banjo Pilot, because it's kind of the same thing, because Banjo Pilot is an official game that released in Banjo and Kazooie series, made by the same developers. Rare. So, that's my opinion on reproduction cartridges. Tell me what you think in the comments below.